Eric, I really think the biggest story this offseason is the wide receiver movement. It's Tyreek Hill going to Miami. It's Davante Adams going to the Raiders and A.J. Brown going to the Eagles. What are we going to learn? I keep coming back with we're going to learn a lot about the impact of those true number one wide receivers, right? So you have two elite quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes losing their guys, right? We've never really seen Mahomes without Tyreek Hill for an extended period of time. We haven't seen Rodgers without Davante Adams in a while at the level he's playing. And Ryan Tannehill's career resurgence, perhaps, was it Derrick Henry? Was it Tennessee? Was it A.J. Brown, actually, that was the resurgence there? How do you think this plays out with the guys on the other end, Tua, Jalen Hurts, and Derek Carr? How much do they get elevated, and how concerned should we be about Rodgers, Mahomes, and Tannehill and the drop-off of losing those top receivers?
Good question. I think on the field, willing to discuss that a little bit. I'm not as much of an expert as you, but I will say salary cap wise, it's very interesting, right? Because you look at the names you just listed. Tua, what's he on a rookie deal, right? Jalen Hurts, what's he on a rookie deal? And Carr, Carr's not on a rookie deal, but his money isn't necessarily in that sort of, right, like, top end.
He's in like the Carr bucket, right? I mean, he's created his own little
and good
spot.
For him, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's making a lot of money, but he's not making Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes money, and that might be the right place for Derek Carr.
Yeah, and that's what I think it ends up being, right? Because we found, and a lot of research, and frankly, a lot of hours talking to you, chatting ball. We learned something about the league, and I think, like, to use a baseball analogy, I think if you have a great number one receiver, and let's say you have a great quarterback, great number one receiver. Let's just say it's the Packers with Davante Adams. I think you're one of those like Oakland A's teams that can win 110 regular season games but can't win the playoff series because, during a season, you're facing Detroit twice, right? And Detroit has no one who can match up on Adams. So you go ding, 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 and you win that game by 14, right? You play Minnesota, it doesn't have a good corner, so you can just throw to Adams as much as possible. And there of 17 games, there are 14 eminently winnable games because of because of the way you're structured, and the rest of your roster is okay, not elite, because you're paying the two guys huge amounts of money. But then you get to the playoffs, and the characteristic of playoff teams is they're lucky teams, right? San Francisco had no injuries in their secondary in that playoff game. The LA Rams, the Packers got by them 2 years ago, but then they go to Tampa, and what is Tampa? Tampa has 4 or 5 day 2 picks in the secondary from the previous couple drafts, and they're able to neutralize Adams. Actually, MVS had a good NFC title game, but it was like, it's like the structure of your team. You can win the 13, 14 games, but you can't win against a team that can take advantage of your weak links, right? And I think what we're finding out is football is very much a weak link system other than quarterback. And what these teams are doing that acquire the Adams and the Hills, because those guys are essentially your quarterback, right?
Right.
Money wise and cap distribution wise, they're hoping that is their strong link. And I'll sell that a little bit. Like, I think it's a good move, right? I like having Tyreek Hill when you're trying to figure out if Patrick Mahomes is good. I like having, Davante Adams if you see if Derek Carr can take the next step after a bunch of years of being a good but not Super Bowl caliber quarterback. If you are already in that Super Bowl basin, right, where the Patriots were for the last 20 years, where the Chiefs are now, Buffalo kind of as well, I don't know if every additional dollar I plow into any position but quarterback is really worth it in one player. And I have some of my interns working on this kind of project, an offensive lineman, where after an offensive lineman sort of reaches a certain threshold, every single dollar, right? Every single dollar buys maybe, let's say, 1% better pass blocking efficiency. But that doesn't matter if your right guard stinks.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I get an issue with the wide receiver one market. Now, we've always said wide receivers are extremely valuable. I think our pricing of wide receivers was twice that of over the cap. I think we've ultimately proven right here, but it's going to be interesting. I would sell all the teams that went heavy at wide receiver one.